Good morning and welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. Plenty of interesting things happening this week. It's really interesting. There's such a stark contrast between the week that we've just had and the week previous to it. Really feels like everyone's woken up and has started contributing to 2022, which is great. Lots of different things to talk about. I pulled out 4 of them. 2 of them are from the same person, so that person is definitely set to make 2022 like fantastic for them. Yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, the first thing to really dig into is some new functionality that is coming to adaptive cards. We've really seen actually a lot happen with adaptive cards recently, and it really feels like they are what's the right word, like leaning in, I suppose, to adding new features. They're incentivized to build out adaptive cards and make it more kind of functionally complete and really change what you use adaptive cards for, and make it applicable to more and more scenarios. The new functionality that's come in recently, and it's currently in developer preview, just so you know. Oh, that's not true. Sorry, I lied. It's developer preview for mobiles and it's GA for desktop. So what is this? This is a people picker inside adaptive cards. So a people picker built in to adaptive cards. This is new functionality that is actually going to be really useful for developers because if you think about trying to do a people picker in adaptive cards, you could totally do it. The functionality is there to go and make it happen. It's just, it would be quite complicated. There's quite a lot to think about, but that's such a common use case. Thinking about taking tasks and wanting to assign them to someone, or escalating to a particular person, or just notifying somebody that something is completed. All these places in which knowing sort of who the person is and being able to quickly have a nice picker for that would be really, really useful. This is the, it's not a blog post actually, it's a documentation update that took place in the week around these things, and you can now add a people picker type of input control. You can use it to search multiple users or single users, and it will also pre-populate the name of those users. There's a nice little animation here showing how it looks. It looks exactly like Teams, and that's one of the most powerful things actually about some of these things, these people pickers. They are so well styled. Probably because they're using exactly the same style files and maybe even the same people and the same design team and stuff like that. So they just look completely on point. So if you're thinking about putting them into your application can really look like it belongs in Teams, which is an important part for applications actually. Like applications in Teams should feel like they belong in Teams. They shouldn't feel like they've just been parachuted in. And you get that kind of odd like effect where it's very obviously a different application. So it's an extension of the input.choice set, so very, very easy to add to existing code, very easy to understand. It's really nice. It's a great additional UI tool, I think. It takes a lot of the hassle out of dealing with things like people pickers, and what that means is that people are more likely to add them into their application. Great. Again, it's interesting for me. I think this does kind of round out adaptive cards, and it's making adaptive cards a little bit more powerful than they were before. And with every time that happens, they become eligible, if you like, for different applications and different solutions. So this is one of those things where it's 100% worth keeping an eye on the technology and seeing how it evolves, because as adaptive cards can do more and more, they will become something that you could consider using in your next application instead of, a fully blown tab application or a bot or something like that. And this is kind of one of the problems, but also the challenges and the exciting parts of this space right now is that there are lots of different ways of doing it, and that list is changing all the time as new functionality is added. So that's why it's good to listen to things like this, because you get to find out this information. So that is new stuff that is coming soon. Okay, what else is happening? Next thing to talk about is not a announcement of product or anything like that. It's a new community get together. So this is something Tom Arbuthnot has put together. It is a Microsoft Teams Fireside Chat. So it's a new Microsoft Teams community get together. Just talking to each other. No particular goal, I don't think. I mean, it's going to be around Microsoft Teams. There'll be some things. It's being facilitated by both Tom and Mark Vale. So Mark, if you don't know Mark, he's an MVP as well, and he's the organizer of Commsverse. So two kind of heavy hitters in the Microsoft Teams space. I think that's really interesting. I like this idea. I think that we haven't been meeting up enough, obviously, over the last couple of years, and anything like this is a really good idea. So I'm a big fan of this, and I'm definitely going to be there for the first session. The expert guest for the first session is Graham Walsh, also Microsoft MVP. He is at Neat, and he's a kind of product specialist there, and he knows lots and lots about Teams Room System. So if you want to know about Teams Room System, come along to that. Even if you don't, just come along anyway and chat with other people in this community. I'm going to be there. I've heard lots of kind of buzz, so I think lots of people are going to be there as well. It should be good fun. Should all be good. That's happening the first Thursday of every month at 1600 UK time. So that is kind of the morning in Seattle world, and I don't know, 1600, I keep saying 1400, 1600 UK, which is currently the same as 1600 UTC. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. That's all I know about. So that is coming up really soon. So that's going to be a good laugh, I think. Bring marshmallows. We're going to sit around the fire and we're going to talk about stuff. Brilliant. Okay. The last two things are from the same person who has definitely been busy, and that person is Jamie Maguire. He's a software architect and Microsoft MVP. He's in the AI space, so he does things with bots and cognitive services and AI, and he is very knowledgeable about all of those things. He's also a very nice person, and he's also a Pluralsight author, and he's also a Cloud Academy tutor. And the reason for including him this week is he has a new course all about building chatbots using the Bot Framework SDK. So, as you know, something I'm kind of very keen about and interested in. This is a great place to start out. If you know you definitely want to build a chatbot and you know you definitely want to use the Bot Framework SDK, go check out this course. It's on Cloud Academy. It's live now. It covers things like the framework itself, what it can do, how you create a bot in Visual Studio, but also then dives into that detail of how do you work with some of the bot framework constructs like turn contexts and states and dialogues, how do you capture user information, and then how do you publish all that information out to Azure when you're done. So this sounds good. There's actually a way to watch the first couple of lectures for free. There's a link on his blog post, which I'll link to as well. So that's worth checking out. I think he also, by the look of it, has plans for another course coming soon as well in that same area around kind of bot framework and using the bot framework composer. So that's definitely worth one to watch out for as well. So go check out his course. That sounds really interesting and useful. And if you know that's what you want to go and build, why not kind of get started quickly using a course? So that's a good one. And then Jamie has not been slacking because he has another blog post out as well talking about AI. And he has been a guest on a kind of a weekly kind of podcast sort of video series called A Bit of AI. It's a Microsoft thing. It's being run by some Microsoft Cloud advocates, Henk and Amy, and he talks about kind of what it's like to work with AI. So he does, like for the stuff he does for work and stuff like that, he has like daily exposure to AI and cognitive services in the way that I really don't. Like, my exposure to AI and cognitive services is that I tend to lean into it and use it when I need to get a job done. I don't spend a lot of time kind of really fully understanding everything that's evolving and everything that's new in that world kind of as it comes, in the same way that I do around the Teams development platform. That's because like everybody has to have the specialisms. You can't be across everything, so you have to kind of pick what you're going to really specialize in. And for me, that's kind of not AI. But for Jamie, it really is. So he knows like all the stuff that's going on in AI at the moment. He knows what's going on with Azure Cognitive Services. He's kind of deeply embedded in that world. So this was a really interesting kind of chat, talking through with some Microsoft Cloud advocates as well about the pace of change in IT, what it's like to work in AI, how people can get into AI, ways that you can kind of keep up to date with AI and learn and keep going and keep your skills fresh, and digging into some details as well, some kind of practical details around things like text analytics as well. So this is a definitely one to watch, even if you've only got a passing interest in AI. It's interesting, right? So go check out this episode. It's called A Bit of AI, is the series. You can find it on YouTube, but I'll put a link into Jamie's blog post as well, because he's embedded the video directly, so you might as well just watch it from there. Yeah, it's a good one. So 4 things to start your week off. This week is going to be busy. So I think there's some things coming up this week to watch out for from me. And I may even get the video done that I meant to do last week that I haven't done this week yet, because it's been one of those weeks. But we'll have to see, because there's some other things that need to come first. So plenty going on. I'm sure there's plenty going on in your world as well, so I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you very much for watching or listening or reading, or however it is you get these links. It means a lot. Whatever it is you're doing this week, have a great one, and I will talk to you again next time.